As a rain with lack of acid, take test presses. You now hearing who the best is. The hottest vocal cord in ear ever caresses. Talk what I live, yeah, I'm all real for the record. Not just for 12 inches of LP, so hopefully the light that shines in me and set souls free. Muhammad, the epitome of what a true spitter should be. Not no self-appointed queen abusing authority.
How are you, queen?
I'm doing fine.
You always forget.
Oh, man, I'm so happy to have you on. I was telling Sister John, I grew up on you. And when I say I grew up on you, I mean as I was coming into my womanhood and my awareness of my feminine divine, it was you and a couple of other sisters that I used to watch all the time. And I really, it's really a gift to have you on the show. So I got tingles right now just thinking about it, because I've come through a lot, and to have, yes ma'am, to have your guidance through a lot of different things it's been an honor. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming on.
Very much. You know what? Thank you so much for the appreciation and the love. You know, I could not do it. Like, I could never sit there and be quiet when I know that the Spirit is telling me to tell my sisters wherever you are. You know, when you do this kind of work, y'all, the deep part is you really, of course, people say it all the time, you don't know who you're reaching, but really you don't understand the impact. And when people, like what you just did and your host did, the co-host did, what you both did, was when you told me that, it made me realize that it's not about me. And I have to keep saying it, and I have to keep speaking it, and I have to be unafraid, because look at all these people, the message is not, it's for me now. Well, let me get that straight. Let me let y'all know that I know it's for me, but because I'll be needing it. I'll be like, I'm saying, sometimes I'll listen back to one of my videos, and I'll sit there and I'll go, God damn it, she said that. She said that. Like it wasn't like, really, because it's so not me. Like, when I look back, that's when you know, you be like, wow, it's like having that clear vessel on whatever level. Don't even have to be perfectly clear, but a clear vessel, an understanding that the ancestors must speak through you, like they must come through somebody. And I thank my mama for that, for teaching us about the importance of the ancestors. I mean, like, that was a big part of my growing up. And talking to you ladies is bringing me down. But anyway, let you do your show and ask me any questions you want. I'm humbled, honored, and thankful. So thank you, Queen.
You know, to tell us how you grew up and about that mother of yours that was talking about the ancestors.
Exactly. Isn't that something? The ancestors already was moving along, wasn't they? They was like, look, you need to think about your mama. So because that's what I got this, really this deep, passionate feeling to really talk about my upbringing. So thank you for asking. So ladies, yes, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. So the talking over and cutting off, that's right up my alley. That's perfect. I feel like I'm home now. So, but I've been living in California, for over 20 years, and it's helped develop a certain part of me. And growing up, our mom was always, she didn't say it in words, but she always made us feel like whoever we thought we were even more than that. Or whoever, the one thing we thought we were many things. And she doesn't know, like, I've never said that to her, and I never even realized it until today, talking to you ladies, that the way my mother raised us was, so we didn't grow up very traditionally. We didn't grow up as raised on the Bible or Christianity. I didn't know, we meaning my two brothers and sister, a sister older, 1 year older, my brother 2 years older, my youngest brother 4 years, so four of us. We didn't know about that. In some ways, some people say, wow, that means you were open to whatever, your mom and the universe gave her to give you. At the same time, it's hard. You don't have peers. You don't understand. You're not on church on Sundays when everybody else is. You're meditating. My mama had us at 7 years old. We didn't have no money either. We was broke, right? But she would get these cans, so you can go get cans and rations for cheap or for free almost, like the cheese line, seriously. And we would take them little, I think they were Del Monte or Mott's, and they was these apple juices. And we would call ourselves fasting. See, now I realize we ain't had no food. It wasn't really a fast, but I get it now. Like, but I realize she made us to use her spirituality to keep us calm. And even in the midst of not having anything to eat, she understood that we're going to call it a fast, not if we don't have anything to eat. We're not going to use those words, and we're not going to live that reality. And so I learned how to live another reality, even though I was experiencing one that didn't look like what I was feeling like it should. And that's one of my mother's gifts that she gave to me. But she always grew up on this ancestor thing. She would say, other people say, thank you, Jesus, or even thank you, God. And we did believe in a God and a higher power, but my mother said, we heard thank you, thank the ancestors. Thank you, ancestors. Ancestors. Right, so she always had like some type of altar. She would buy like statues like Shango, and she had the cigar. She would light the cigar and the Florida water, and we didn't understand everything because at this point we were so, abused in the way mentally by the kids around in our peer group because we wasn't Christian. We just kept asking her, why can't you just love Jesus? Like, why we gotta have? So we didn't get it. We were not getting it. She was in her own world, and so the respect of the ancestors. And then she really so that was one thing. But how did she even tell us more? Then she started literally telling us stories about our history as African people in the diaspora. She would buy books and read them, and then we would have story time because we didn't have a TV set. Our TV was always broken, so we had a radio, and we would either listen to the radio and this was like in the 80s, y'all. We ain't talking about like the 1920s. We talking about that's the people. It's not like we curled up by the radio, but we really were. Like, we didn't have it, and we were in the project at this point, and she would read about Black history and then have story night. And every night she would paraphrase or embellish or tell the story of certain books that they came before Columbus or From Slavery to Freedom or The Black Book, all these wonderful books. And that's how that's my ways. And that's how I came up very metaphysical, very spiritual. Didn't know that. We struggled still. So they don't get everything right, but that's not for your ancestors to get it all right in the one lifetime. It's for you to continue to work. That's what I realized. I'm here to continue to work on my lineage, and I'm very proud of that. So thank you for asking.
Oh, that's cool. It's funny. It's like it's not ideal for a kid, but it's all the things we ended up doing. Y'all were doing it from the beginning. That's
exactly.
It seems so. To us that didn't get that, that's like, ooh.
Yeah. It's a blessing.
From the
beginning. Yeah, you're right. People tell me, like, I didn't know. So my husband tells me all the time, he's like, what? Like, your mama did what? She thought, like, what? Y'all was allowed to do what? Oh, yeah, we were allowed to, like, our peers, people in my age group, you couldn't talk to your mother about really how you felt. You weren't supposed to be, I guess, seen and not heard kind of generation, that kind of old school, just came up from the South, maybe first generation Southerners. And so, but in my house, my mama really wanted us to share our feelings. Like, we sit down. Why are you upset? What's going on? What? And I think that's very helpful when raising a child because it helps, especially a girl child. It really helps them with their self-expression and feeling good about expressing themselves. My mother so she had that going on too. She was special. She was special. I love that woman. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did she have any spiritual gifts, and did you have any, like, do you have a lot of intuition, or do you have them funny dreams where you see things? Do you have any special gifts?
Well, yeah, you know what? And when she had the gift of the ancestors speaking to her, and I got that from her. Like, I call it spirit, but it's saying I know that because my mama used to say, first of all, she used to read people. She didn't sit there and say she was a reader. She could read people, and then people started coming to the house to get read. So first of all, she had the gift of intuition and clairvoyancy. She had that. She could read and she could see. And she would say what you said in the beginning of this, on the call, when you said I got shivers, up my spine. My mother used to say, so when something was, if we were having a conversation, us three sisters, and we said something, or the ancestors said something through us, my mother would say, oh, my God, I got chills. This is so real. This is the way to go. So she got feelings as well. And so when you get those feelings, ladies, it's really the ancestors communicating, which is almost like a cold chill, but it's not a frightening feeling. It's just a, woo, like you just said. So She did that a lot throughout our lives. Like, ooh, or like, oh my, I get to chill. Yeah, that's it. So clairvoyance, third eye was way open. Ability to read, so to see, and the most important part, she was truly the vessel for the ancestors,
Right.
and she understood that. And a lot of us are vessels to the ancestors, but we don't understand it, and that's what gets us into where do I go from here? Why am I in this negative relationship? You know, why am I hanging out with these people?
That's exactly what I was about to go into, because I noticed that a lot of us, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm listening to you. I love that you write on it. That's right. Talk to me, sweetie. I'm listening to you.
Yes, I was going to say, I noticed that a lot of us, we seem to have access to the energy, but we don't know how to use it. Like we feel things, we're aware of things, but we are like, we drifting. We don't have a game plan. We don't have, you know what I mean? And I know that through sisterhood, and that's how we build that kind of that kind of network and that kind of foundation. And it's just, it seems like we are not we're not actively on a road of accessing and using the power that we have in a wise way. So what advice do you have? Like, how do we get sisters to kind of open up their minds and their eyes and their hearts to themselves first, you know, and then just using that energy to change the world around them?
Well, you know what, sir? Thank you so much. Such a beautiful question, eloquently put, and I really appreciate the question. I appreciate it for many reasons. I appreciate it because it gives me a glimpse into what the young sisters' kind of struggle is in the consciousness or conscious movement or spiritual consciousness when they're coming into spiritual consciousness. It lets me know that, yes, those that came before, elders, guides, they are so important in the African continuum. We must have it because you're right. So you wake up. So your third eye opens, right? So your energy is pouring through. But what do you do with it? And I think that the fact that you know that you have the energy, so the first thing I would say is most people don't understand that they have the energy. So the first thing that I do is we get them into, like, that's why I have the Blackberry Beauty Academy, or I do the free live streams and I put them on my YouTube as well, but I'm doing them on Facebook. Get them in touch with what they're feeling. So, like, you know what at least they're feeling, so you can, teach somebody else. Let me tell you, that all that you're doing, all that energy, all that power, even all that anger, even worrying about that man that's going cheating on you with that other woman, all that, and then you going over there knocking on the door, all that is energy. Point out to the sisters that it's energy. So I would ask people to come to my Blackberry Beauty. I would ask them to get an audio book talking about raw foods, because the other thing is a lot of times, because I'm going to tell you this, we feel that energy, and like you said, but processing it is hard. I noticed my mother felt the energy, processed the energy, but she didn't understand how to call it up at will. She didn't, and so you have to understand how that the energy never goes away. It's not something that it gets you out of a bind and then you back into your old life again until you need to get out of a bind again. So we need to learn how to use it positively. But I think if we knew that it was a source and we could use it at will, just like plugging a wire or a plug into the socket, and we understand that at will, if I want to turn on my computer or charge my phone or watch a show, I can at will use that source. So first it's understanding that there is a source, but let them understand it's coming through them, even through the anger and the pain. That's still energy. And so what I do, like I said, I would send them videos, sis. I would send them to the free live streams for myself and other people. But the thing is, young sisters like you're already doing it. You have to have people like me and other elder women or women approaching that time that can talk to y'all. These interviews, these questioning. It's to use social media like like the devil. That's what it goes to say, use social media. Use it to program and reprogram and re-educate our people. So that's how you do it. You use social media, you understand it for yourself, and then take them to courses like my Blackberry Beauty Academy, very affordable prices for anybody, where they can start learning. I need a guide. Like, I need somebody to show me what I'm feeling, and then she's going to show me how to use it. And then she's going to put it in a formula, so it's 1, 2, 3 system, so I can plug that in. So, yeah, they're coming, but you keep talking, and you two sisters keep interviewing, and you keep sharing. And then you create something. Have sisters like me and Queen Afua and these other queens, have us come to your retreats. Create weekends. You know, let's create something so that the sisters can be a part of. We'll make it affordable. We'll get the right queens to come in. And, you know, it's a lot of ways to do it, but you got to use every way you have. Every way you have, use it.
I love social media because I would not have known all these people. But one person I did know back in the day is Queen Afua. So speaking of Queen Afua, could you talk about how you first learned of her, and did you do Sacred Woman? You know, talk about your experiences with Queen Afua and just the whole way that she does things also.
That's right. Thank you for asking about the Queen. Like, I really give reverence to that sister. She's nothing but pure love, light, and joy. Like, I'm telling you, that woman got a gift that's amazing. She will move you. She is such a minister, and I got nothing but respect. I love that woman so much. So the first time I was introduced to Queen Afua was, I'm living in Brooklyn, but no, I moved to California, go to a black bookstore in California, Oakland, and find her book, Heal Thyself. It was a green, not as thick as the book, Heal Thyself, the re-edition of it, but this book was the first one. I'm living in California, so now this vegetarian thing, I'm open to it because that's kind of how a lot of people kind of live here. Not a lot of our people, but other people. And so I saw it coming, but I never in my life read a book. And so at this point, before I read her book, Heal Thyself, for health and longevity. For those who are not familiar, it's her first book, and it was really there. It was like, I say, an urban hit, or now it's an urban legend. It was a book to help you go from a meat-based diet to a vegetarian diet, period, through herbs, through fasting, through prayer, through meditation. And so at that point, I had read a lot of juicing books. I read a lot of vegan, vegetarian books. I wasn't one yet, but they were all from a Eurocentric perspective, or written by white folks, which I'm not saying is all bad. I'm saying that when I read hers after all those, and I saw myself in this movement, in this way of living, and understood that then she went back that it was ancient Kemetic, I was like, oh, okay, I'm in. So after I finished that book, which was about, a day and a half, I was immediately, my best friend and I were roommates. The next day after reading the book, I became a full vegetarian, and I never looked back. So that's an impact, okay? So when she came out with Sacred Woman, I was ready. I mean, other people like, oh my God, that book is, I don't know, it's complicated, or I'm not sure what to do, or did you? So I did the book, which means, you know, go through every single gateway. And so this is for healing the divine masculine and feminine. That's her Sacred Woman. And it's like a course study. But it's a spiritual course study. And I did it to the end. I got through all 12 gateways, and then I had a little ceremony with some of the sisters. And then I did it again for myself again, and had a little small ceremony with myself. It was so few people that can actually go through the whole book and really come out, because it's different. It's amazing. It's so different than our way a lot of black folks were raised. Especially, it goes against their Christianity or their religion a lot of times. So I think that's why some people have a hard time with it. See, I didn't have that kind of set religion. So it didn't matter for me. It was a matter of fact, call up ancestors. I knew how to do that. Like, this when I grew up this way. So, you know, when they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, it's like I realized the foundation was laid by my mother to be able to receive a Queen Afua, because that's just as touched by the Creator in the best way. So once I did Queen Afua, and really for 16 years, I was very consistent in getting up at 4, doing Queen Afua, and now I'm even being given birth to myself, so I can take the teachings of my mother, the teachings of Queen Afua, and really I found myself in it. Because right now I keep bringing in, if you notice, this health and wellness has to include financial wellness. It has to include us owning something and creating large monuments, towns, cities, you know, sewer systems like we did in ancient Kemet, and creating wealth so the children will have something. So I feel like it's like I'm seeing how health and wellness is this big thing, but she will always get my respect. I had an opportunity of meeting her. I went to a couple of her conferences throughout the many years, but I was very far away. This time I met her in Atlanta. We both were speaking at the Natural Hair Max Summit conference, and she sat and talked to that woman. I mean, you could feel the energy of the divine feminine when you sit with this woman and she's talking. So she is everything, much respect, bow down, reverence all the way. Love this.
I have a copy of Sacred Woman, and I always say I'm ashamed of myself because every time I sit down to actually, because I have an altar and I have different things set up already, but to go through the book and do the fast and do the teas and do the incantations, like I still have yet to go through every single page and do every prayer every time, and I really feel like doing that is gonna really open up some doors. And it's almost like when the student is ready to master appears. And so I've had this book for 5-6 years now, and I'm finally ready to go through each page and really step into what she prescribes for women to connect with their wombs. And my question for you, because I know that like you said, the health and wellness aspect of it, like, a lot of us are not really as concerned with what we put into our bodies as far as food goes, not realizing that all of that has a connection to the spiritual, the mental, all the hormones that they put in the food, how it could be seriously affecting your moods, affecting your genes, affecting your, and kind of, can you go into how we can kind of purge ourselves of this European diet that we've adopted as our own?
Absolutely. You know what? I think that it's going to be a natural occurrence, a natural change, and a natural shift. I mean, this is what I realized lately. When I travel and see how our people are eating, I know why they act the way they do. I know why they live where they live. I know why they believe what they believe. Right? So I get it. So it was very deliberate to put, people are concerned about the liquor stores, that take up our community, but people should be concerned about the chicken shacks too. I'm just saying that just poison is delicious. And I think that we accept it as normal, and so most people, and so that we accept the diseases that come with it as normal. We accept that you at a certain age you're going to get diabetes, or a certain age you're going to get hypertension. I mean, I see it in people, my peer group. The conversation is that's normal to have that gut. It's normal to have to wear glasses, or maybe you got glaucoma. Like, I mean, the things that's being accepted. Just take some insulin for the diabetes. So I think what's going to change us is taking out that's normal. And really showing people that really normal is, it's not normal to be 40 but look 60. It's not normal to, just because you're over 35, you got to put on 15 or 30 or 40 or 50 pounds. It's not normal. So that's what you show, and you show it by actually doing the work. So I agree with you that the Queen of Four, I didn't know the Queen of Four was hard, because for me, I was meant to be. My mother, I gave her a copy of Sacred Woman, so I want to get a little more even deeper into your question. I gave her a copy of Sacred Woman, and she read through it like most people do. And she said, "You're ready." And I said, "You ready for what?" She said, "You're ready to get out there and to teach others. You're ready. Because if you can do this the way you did it," and everybody that knows me know I did it. People fell off. I had sisters that would come in, but they couldn't really hang into the end. So, yeah. And I knew it was easy for me because it was meant to be. Sometimes, so my suggestion is, I know you want to open up the book and do the Sacred Woman. I think she's actually doing something in the fall, but I'm not sure. Check out her site. I think it's queenoffourheals.com. I think she's doing where she takes you through the gateways, and instead of spending months on it, I think she spent a week in each gateway. So I think it's a 12-week. I think that would be very helpful. So, and I'd also think maybe studying with her, I think you might get something more. So, because maybe the book is not for everybody, but I think she still has something to give you that will profoundly change your life. So check out her website. But the other thing is, maybe we want to try to fix everything at once, and we get into this, and we didn't get so damaged over a short amount of time. It took hundreds of years, which means 20 generations for us to carry the weight that we're carrying. I mean, that's what she's saying. She's saying that your hurt is not just your hurt, but it's the hurt of your mama, your grandma, and generation after. So you taking care of yourself, she says, be careful or understand that it's going to take a while because you may be healing 20 generations with your one wound. So the thing I suggest is you like her stuff or you want to hear something of mine, go for different things. So I say in order to open the mind, in order to teach people that their way of life is not normal, it's actually abnormal, and we should live longer, look good, be vibrant, don't get Alzheimer's, just be happy, is to start them on the food. And I think that for you and your co-host, like I said, I have an audio book where I read my book. I made a booklet of 30 pages called A Raw Life, My Journey from Cooked to Raw Foods. People actually love the audio. It's only $7 on my website. I mean, I know I have time to sell it, but I want people to know that it's 45 minutes of me reading about the introduction, what it does for you, what diseases it heals, how it does that, my story. So giving them that information, but also being that information. Walk down the street. Girl, people come up to me all the time and be like, can I ask you a question? It's always about something about health. So people feel the vibe, girl. They feel the vibe. They know when you like, okay, you can do something a little different than everybody else. And then, then I say, and then turn it into a business so you can have some money so you can afford all this good organic food we about to eat. And then, grow your own food when it becomes right. And then grow your own food and it becomes even less expensive. But I don't think we should cheat ourselves as Black folks. It's the best. To me, high end is having a Vitamix. High end is having a goddamn dehydrator. High end is having a good food processor. High end is being able to have organic food. High end is being able to have and grow my own food, so have farm. High end to me is owning your land so you can control your own life. See, it's different. It's not. I didn't say a Gucci bag. I didn't say, I'm not to say people don't want that. I said we have to stop. We have to start thinking differently about what is Black elegance, what is Black excellence.
Thank you.
What is high end? What is that for us? Because if it ain't about your health, then forget everything else. You ain't living high end. You just talking.
That's right. You're just talking.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the young people are coming along nicely. The older generation, when you said vegetarian, they're looking at you cross-eyed. Even when I was looking for food, Sarah said we were looking for vegetarian food, and they were like, so they took the fish, but they pulled the fish out of it, and they were like, yeah. That was it. Young people are serious about eating right and about, I see many of them growing their own food too, but they're serious about being vegans and vegetarian. I've never seen so many. It's a really, really good thing because some of the older people were like, well, that's so hippie being a vegetarian. But, even when you eat the meat as an older person, your ancestors ate cows that fed on grass and, whatever.
Exactly.
A whole different thing, and we getting sick. We all, so it's, no, they're right. They're not they're not wrong to be vegetarian at all.
Right. I agree that the older generation, I say it all the time. And so this is your thing as young people, though. Well, if we don't get it, we will demise. I mean, we're going to create our own demise. And I mean in the best way. It took me years to realize that you can't save or help everyone. It took me years. I think this is about identifying your target, identifying the people that's available to the information that you have, identifying the people that want the information. Because you know what? It's a lot more better and beneficial for you and your health to work with people who actually want the information that you're giving them. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's going to make you happier. You're going to live longer. And you still, and really, because, the idea, is that you want to help people. We get so specific. I want to help people. Spirit go, well, here's people that want to be helped. Here's the ones asking for it. You go, no, well, I want to help old people. Well, God dang it, I thought you just wanted to help people. Now you want to help old people. So, it's this indignant the way that we are. It's kind of crazy. Spirit's but I got all these people. Maybe they're younger than you thought. You know, maybe they don't live where you thought, but they're your people and they really want it. That's why I say, you know, studying and my studying though, when I tell you ladies to study, read a book, yes, but do the work from it. Most people read a book and they don't do the work. So I'm saying I don't really judge people on if they're really doing something by how many books they read. I want to know, you know, that information you're giving me right now, you know it because you experienced it. Mm-hmm. So I teach you from experience. That's why on YouTube you see me fail. You see me don't make that fast, or you see me go back to the old way, or you see, yeah, right. I mean, because I'm showing you that, look, if I tell you it works, it's because I know. It's not because I read 1,000 books. And I did. So, yeah, I say start living the life. Because people talk about a lifestyle, but, you know, it's really about living the life. Live the life every single day in some way. And then, you know what? It's like you take your frequency up higher. That's what people don't understand. Like, oh, I changed and everybody around me is the same and they make it hard for me. Wait a second. Could you ride that new vibration for a minute? Let it stick there for a second. The universe don't believe you.
Right.
Like, yeah, I know. She says she's going to change. She says she's going to start with me. Let me see. And then once you hold on, the universe sends you all the right people that's perfect for you until you go a little higher, and then it sends you more people. We got to be okay with that. Things are going to change rapidly when you are divinely connected. It's just going to do that. And like, why? Go ahead, Queen. That's all I want to hear it.
No, I was just going to say, well, first, I want to say congratulations on your award win at the Black Power Awards. You definitely deserved it, and I was very proud to see you go up on the stage. And I wasn't there, so I watched it recorded. But to see you go up on the stage and have all the queens stand up, and, you know, kind of rebalancing that masculine energy in the room and in the whole award show, how you did that was incredibly powerful. As I was watching that, I got chills watching that too. And it was something you said you were doing a stream, you were doing a live stream after the award show, and you were talking about Black women's position in this quote-unquote conscious community or movement. And you said you don't argue with no man. You create what you think is missing.
Yes.
You said that's why I said we can sprinkle some goddess energy, some goddess juice on it, because what you do is you create an atmosphere without even having to position yourself as an opposer or an enemy. You make the energy happen. You create the magic. And so can you kind of, can you explain, you know, how, you know, just this distance between men and women, and how there was something else you said. You said everybody has to get it at the same time in order to have a viable community. So it's not how the New Black Panther Party, or not New Black, but the Black Panther Party proposed, where it's Black Power first and then, you know, the rights of women after. No, we all get it at the same time, men, women, and children. So, you know, just can you go into that, like the family, the movement, the women, our roles, how we can sprinkle some goddess juice on it?
Your whole question gave me chills. I was like, I said all that too, huh, didn't I? I said that. When you said it back to me, I was like, woo, that was pretty powerful. That's the ancestors done. That can never be me. Because I did. Everything you just said, I said that in that video. I talked about it. Mm-hmm. It was definitely a spiritual download. But yes, I would definitely like to definitely go a little deeper into it. And what I was saying for those that may even be listening. But it took me years to figure out that the battle, if I'm having an external battle with my man, if we fighting, if we breaking up to make up, if we don't know if we're going to make it or not, if we being mean and not treating each other right, all of those things that go on in some relationships that don't need to, then what's going on really inside of me? What is going on between the masculine and the feminine within me? That energy is off. That's why externally it's appearing as off. So I know that, and then, so that's one part. This is helping me to understand my male or my external masculine, which in my case is my husband, but other men, my brothers, at the same time. So I understand that it's still me. I mean no one but me. So if I have a problem with what's outside, then I got to fix what's inside. Okay, that's number one. But the other thing is I understand men where I didn't before. They're really, when they get together, they hype each other up. That energy is powerful, man. Especially they doing rap music because they get excited. I get it. Like, I know. And so I say to myself, think of a time, how do you relate to a man? And I'll tell you, I mean this because I believe everything's holistic. It was when I started, like, really running, jogging, but more than that, even lifting weights. And when I started lifting weights, there's a feeling that you get, and it's such a masculine energy. It's not you're turning into it's a strength, and it's a bravado, and it's like testosterone galore. Like, you feel like what? Like, come up on me if you want to. Like, it's serious, right? It's like, oh yeah, it's fierce. And when you are in touch, most of our women, we're only in touch with that fierceness when we're about to kill somebody, cut somebody, or hurt somebody. Otherwise, you know, when you see us arguing on the street crazily, right? That's not healthy. That takes us down. That burns on our immune system. Not healthy. So I said, wow, I'm learning about that deep masculine energy that most women don't tap into unless they're doing it in a violent way. And I'm tapping into it in a positive way, and it balanced me. And I understood, and then after that, Spirit just started talking to me saying, look, this was a great thing. They want to acknowledge a war that acknowledges our own people. Of course, they're men that mostly run it, and Black power to them traditionally has been about men and for men in a lot of ways. It seemed like it was about more, but it seemed like it was about the men. And so they're kind of going with that lineage. They don't know that what's missing, and they don't need to know. You got to be the woman and place and put what's in place, your part in. You don't ask them. You don't argue with them because, you know what, it's not that they don't want it. They ain't really think about you right now. It ain't about you right now.
Right, exactly.
And it's not that they're not thinking about you because they don't like you, because they think you're less than, because they don't think you're less than. They know the power of you. You got to get in where you fit in. So get in where you fit in and change the entire energy. And I've seen a lot of our elders, you know, a lot of our now ancestors. I think about those Black marriages that lasted 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, you know, incredible marriage. It's because that woman knew how to handle him because she understood she was not him. Once you understand you're not him, then you can actually respect and love him for what he brings as a man. See, my man right now, he's using all that energy, all that testosterone, my husband, to move us out from California to Carolina, right? I mean, it's a lot of work. I could not do that work. I can do the work I'm doing right here. He loves that I do this work, so he can do that work. Right. So I get like when you're in a partnership and things need to get done, you start thinking about what needs to be done and who has the skills to do it at that time. And so therefore, just for that moment, that millisecond even sometimes, that person becomes the leader. I don't want to fight with my brothers. I love them too much, but I truly believe they love us. And like my husband said, remember when that was said, you saw that little clip. When I went behind the back, because, you know, you receive the award and you go backstage, you take pictures, you got to do a little interview. So I'm going. My husband's still in the audience. He said, every brother after you said, so like that sister said. Because before that was like, yeah, you know, it was all, you know, brother thing. Oh, Black Power, baby. RBG down, you know, it was all of that. And as soon as I did that, the brother's like, yes, I want to thank my queen. I want to thank my wife. Yes, my mother. Yes, it wasn't for the women. And they all said like that, 50%.
The reset.
So you see the power. Exactly, the reset. There you go, queen. There you go.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, that's fine. Can you tell us how you, I'm interested in womb wellness because I know that that's one of the things you really specialize in. And if you don't mind, you know, would you talk about your journey with your womb, if you anything you don't mind sharing, and how you got to this place where you focused on it?
Sure, great. Beautiful question, and yes. So for me, you know, it was again, I never even heard the word womb, or if I did, it didn't stand out in my life until Queen Afua brought that home to us as Black women. So again, I got to give it up to the sister. I didn't understand that all of those negative relationships that I had and all that anger, that misused goddess energy, I didn't understand about. I even was reading about goddess energy before I bought the book Heal Thyself or Sacred Woman, but it was always the white woman. I couldn't feel that. So I feel like it's the acknowledgement. We all say it in a different way. It's the acknowledgement of Black women that we went through something brutal. Like that's when we talk about womb wellness, it starts in the actual reality that we're not disconnected from our ancestors. We're not disconnected from our mother. I know a lot of times I didn't know this, like I'm learning different things, but a lot of times Christians, if you said ancestors or, if they get, that freaks them out. They don't, to them, their relatives, some of them, stereotype, when they say dead and gone, like that's deep to me because like they just, they don't talk to the dead. Let's just put it that way. They ain't doing that. And so I feel like that's why we're so sick. We're so sick because we disconnected from that which yes, it was painful, but just saying and acting like you're not connected to it doesn't take the pain away. So it's an acknowledgement that something really horrific occurred to our people. And for women, it went like this. It was rape. It was told to her that she had no divine femininity. It was, second-class citizen. So she never felt herself as she went through all these atrocities of being violated. And so, I think that if a Black woman really wants to be successful, now let me say, successful Black women today, yes, they make lots of money, they own property, they own whatever they own, the beautiful cars, but they're usually sick. So that's not success to me. So I think that what Queen Afua brought was, if you want to be, she may not use the word successful woman, but a full, whole woman who can go out and get whatever you want, then you want to take care of the hurts and the pains that occurred in your life. So the womb really is that. So the womb, this is what my studies, what I've known in my own history, reoccurring yeast infections over and over again. When I connected that to the relationship that I was in, I didn't trust the person. I didn't think the person was right for me, but I didn't love myself enough to get out of it. Fibroid tumors had that too. When I understood that was about unhealed hurts from the past, and that how many unhealed hurts do most of us have? I started adding the unhealed hurts up. I was like, oh, no wonder. No wonder. Oh, my God. So somebody pointing out that every single thing that happened to you just in your lifetime, we don't have to connect it to the ancestors for a second. Just what happened to you. And every woman knows what happened to them. And every woman knows. Right. And that is saying that, no, you ain't all right. And here's some rituals to bring you back to your wholeness. So, for me, it was all of those things. I was conscious, so-called. That's why I said that womb thing is very, very important. That's a great question. I was so-called conscious, meaning what? I read Malcolm X, autobiography of Malcolm X. I read all the books. I went to the little conferences or the lectures, but I ain't know nothing about my womb. And if you don't know nothing about the very part that brings forth life, you don't know nothing about that, you are not successful and you are not conscious. Because if you're not conscious of your own connection to those that came before, your own connection to your own health, and it comes to the womb, then you're not conscious. And so that's why, it's a part of learning about your womb as a woman is your existence as a woman. And if that's not right, as Queen Afua said, it don't matter what you do, it don't matter what you acquire, you're not going to be happy. And I'm really about being happy.
You gave me one of those shivers. You gave me a lot to think about. You gave me a lot.
That being happy section, that be happy part right there, because we so entrenched in our trauma and, the generational conditioning of holding on to the pain of things, and I'm in these a bunch of groups. Some of them are predominantly European. Most of them are predominantly Black women, and it's a lot of occult, magical groups, a lot of, and a lot of white people. They spend a lot of time ignoring and downplaying and, just kind of like making it seem like Black people, if you bring up the fact that their magical practices have roots in Africa and they should give credit, they say, well, it's all ours. We're all, and so it makes you, it just reinstills that anger. And it's like, why am I wasting time being angry at these people for not understanding what I'm talking about? I don't need them to understand what I'm talking about. It would be helpful, I guess, for my fragile feelings, but in the grand scheme of things, when I step into my power, I don't really give it. I don't care. what they have to say. I care about what these little sisters who are growing up in a lack of traditions, who have no access to anything, what they need. What can I give to them? What can I give to my daughter? What can I give to her friends? What can I give to this community out here? And you know, I don't want to, and it's like I get some kind of ego kick, like a satisfaction out of making them angry. So, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like a transference energy. And it's like, that's no good. You know, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to hold that. I want to let it go and just love and be love and share love with you know what I'm saying, with people who are open to that type of knowledge and information. So,
I call it throwing a grenade. I call it throwing a grenade. Like, they over there talking about all lives matter. I'm like, wachoo! I throw a grenade.
Thank you. I love that.
My sister was talking about... No, go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was saying that I really appreciate, you know, like everything you have to say and what you actually are experiencing. But let me ask you, sisters, a question, because this is what I believe that particularly Black women, we all have to have, and when we have it, I think that we will know our place and will live it to the fullest. And what I mean is, what is your mission? Like, what is your mission in life? So you have all this knowledge, all this wisdom, all this understanding. You have all of that. You got to understand that to yourself. You got to say to yourself, I would not be granted all of this if there was not a somewhat of a specific mission. And so a couple of questions you ask when you're determining, a couple of questions you might want to ask when you're determining your mission. So who am I talking to? And you said it, who are the people that need my help the most? Who are the people that I was almost, in a sense, sent here to make sure? I know my mission is to uplift and bring forth that happiness that so many in the revolution forget to talk about. I know my mission is to do that for Black women. I know my mission. Now, does that mean that I'm not going to be invited to talk, like I said, on a TED Talk or talk on another platform that's not Black? Yes, to tell my story, to tell my narrative. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not asking for your permission, or I don't need you to validate. I'm telling you, you hired me, or you paid me to speak, to talk about my people. And I said, if you look at any of those TEDx talks, and it's usually when it's an African from the continent, they're coming there with their knowledge and wisdom. They're being respected to tell you what they have experienced from their lives. I'm not asking white people to validate or tell me if it's true or go back and find out if it's fact. I'm telling you how we're living. Or I'm telling you how we thrive. Or I'm telling you about. So I think it's respecting your own culture, respecting your own knowledge and wisdom, Queen. Everything you said, you got to believe it. You got to know. You can't be like, well, you know, maybe I'm doing this. Maybe I'm making them angry because I don't know. It could be coming from another place because you don't have time for that. Like, honestly,
like. Exactly. That's what I know.
Yeah. You don't have that.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, you know that. You don't have time for that. So that's the good part, that you do know that you don't have time for that. So now use your time to really, because what you want to see, I want to see it too. You want to see more happiness. It's like, you're right, we're so deep in the, oh, I'm my woman, oh, I'm struggling, oh, I'm hurt. And I want to see like this, but where are we going towards? So first, you know your mission, meaning what you stand for, who's your audience, who you are supposed to be delivering your message to. And then the other thing is, you know, where are we going? What do we really want through the end of all this healing? We really want to be happy. So what I do is I set people up to figure out what are the steps that bring them to happiness. And that's why you eliminate everything else. See, once you only get up every day knowing my mission is happiness, so every day I want to be happy. Not one day, everything will fall into place and I'll be happy. Every day. So if I woke up every day knowing my mission today is to be happy. My destination, that's what I want to get to. But my mission is to serve my community so I can be happy. And then you start working towards only those things and doing only those things that bring you closer to what you want. This way, then you don't even entertain the rest of the stuff. Like, so all those groups you're a part of, get down to one or two that means something to you. That's it, because you don't really, that's your information, first of all. It's not really for them, and they know it already, but they'll never admit it. So, yeah, once I realized that we could actually make them disappear, like we can make them disappear, y'all. We can make them disappear. So
stop
we need
giving
to, like,
them my energy. That's
and then they go away.
Yep,
they go away.
that's
So
my problem.
oh yeah. Go ahead, Queen.
I was just going to say that misplaced energy, that's all. And not just with white folks, but with a lot of different things. We get so wrapped up in the emotion of things that are so unimportant.
So true. Yep.
Yeah.
True.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you got it. That's life. That's what I just taught. I taught a 3-hour live virtual intensive. It was called Creating Healthy Money Rituals. And basically it was a formula, and it tells you all the ways to get what you want, or the very way to get what you want. But really in it, one of the things it talked about was by doing all the stuff you don't want, or that's not going to get you to where you want. You know, I think about in my life, I think I've been working for myself entrepreneurially at least 10 years. I'm going to say 10, 7 good, but 10. And in that, my money comes from Black people because that's the community that I serve. My life is surrounded by Black people. I'm married to a Black husband. I got a Black daughter. I hang out with my Black friends. I go to places where maybe it's not always Black people that own it, but most of the time I try to do my best. And if I'm not, they're not better than me, no one else. I know who I am. I know what I have. I know that I'm goddess. I know that I'm royalty. So I don't even look at them to feel no way about, because they really, I'm from the most intelligent people on the earth. I'm from the most innovative people in the world. Right, so like, well, who are you? Like, I know, as a matter of fact, I actually know who you are. I know where you're from, so you ain't the person me at all. So I mean, but after a while, it's not even like, I don't hate white folks. I don't even think about them. Just like they don't think about me. I don't even think they're not even on my. So it's not even a hate or like they're less than. Well, we know their history. It's like, to me, it's like I'm living my happy, joyful life, because I get to talk to sisters every day and show them another way. And I get to sell my products and services to a community, and it's actually helping them. Why am I? You need to ask who I am. You need to know who I am. You better know who I am, because I don't care who you are. And I don't mean to devalue anyone. I'm saying that it's to value ourselves more. Because once we value ourselves, it's like certain things, you know, there are certain things that a person in position like that goddess, we say we goddesses. We say queen, we say we got. Queens don't hang out with everybody. She's not allowed to. You know, goddesses can't with everybody. Yeah, exactly. You're not allowed to. And even if you were really in a system where there was that hierarchy of a king and a queen and the princess, they can't kick it with everybody. You know what happens when the good kids go out with the bad kids. Bad kids corrupt you, steal, beat you up, take your money.
You and it's not like you're looking down on nobody. It's not like a looking down or a separation of yourself from people. It's just you have to keep yourself in a certain, you have to hold yourself in a certain regard for your own peace of mind.
Come on now. There you go. So that's all. That's what that is, right?
That's right. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I get lessons every time I do these interviews. I'm always being checked, and I love it. I love it. I need that. And I really humbly accept everything you just said to me.
Me too.
You're very welcome. Blessings to both of you. Appreciate you.
Let me ask you, do you practice any particular spiritual path yourself? Because I looked at your videos and I always saw that you knew about Kemet, but you knew some stuff about Orisha too. So I wondered if you did your own thing or if you were in any system.
Yeah, thank you. That's another great question. So, no, actually, I do my own thing. So I definitely do my own thing. I know a little bit about certain things because I grew up with my mother, and then I would read a lot, and I would delve. There was a time in my life, it was from the time that my daughter was born, to be honest with you. That's like when I really remember it, where I got deeply into spiritual practices, plural with an S. And I started studying goddess power, yes, and, you know, different Buddhism, a lot of Zen Buddhism and different forms, and, you know, just a Kabbalah, just being open, metaphysics, of course, and I came up with that. And what I realized is even parts of Christianity, understanding that. And what I realized for me, and then Queen of Food, that changed the whole game. I realized that I took a little bit of all of that worked for me. Yeah. And so my spirituality really is giving reverence. So my belief is that there is a higher power. And sometimes I call it God, sometimes I call it Goddess, the divine one, the most high. but it's that reverence. And I believe that it does have a masculine and divine feminine connection. I believe in balance as I totally believe in that. But I also believe in nature and that is God, that is goddess, that us and that women are from those trees, that women are part of that earth, that women is that dirt. You know, I really believe so going back to those things will keep that divine feminine goddess energy around us, you know. And I believe that, yes, we have power. We are totally co-creators with the Creator, with God, with Goddess. So it's not for us to just pray and ask God, what you going to do? Save me, save me. It's for us, God is going to know what you going to do. I'll do what you tell me. And that's a concept for most people, like, God's going to do what you tell me. Yes, that's what he or she is here for. That's what that energy is here for, is to do what you say. Your wish is my command. I truly believe that we are many gods, universes. So I love and I believe that it's okay to be spiritual people and to fight for your people. I believe that it is we must spiritually fight, but we're not fighting against some others. We got to stop. That's a waste of time for our movement. If you want to talk about the movement, I think the fight against others, that's a waste of dang time. We need to get ourselves together, like I said in the video, and get it at the same time. The rights for the babies, the wives, the husbands, and we can. And if the ones that don't change, they're going to get left behind because the women is less than, the women behind you. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's not true. You know your big mama. The people need to go back to just a generation or two. If we were all going back to our southern roots, we know Big Mama did exist, and you didn't play with her, not even the men. Even the men knew Big Mama said. Come on now. And, you know, in other cultures, it's the grandmother, it's the yay. So I'm just saying, like, we know better. Why we acting silly now? And what we don't know who Big Mama is. And how we supposed to act when she come in the room, no matter what form she takes. What I'm seeing, if I could tell you about the future, what I see for young ladies like you is that you're going to be the big mama without having to have all the age and the years and have to gain the wisdom. Like, you're going to gain a lot more wisdom in a younger age. Just like technology shows you everything speeds up, you all are speeding up too. So when I say the Blackberry Beauty Transformative Academy, ancient African wisdom for the modern sister, you are the modern sisters. Now, how do you turn what Queen Afua does? Maybe that's not as modern for some people, so maybe they need to turn it more modern. How do you do what I do and make it more modern? So take the wisdom. You know, isn't it something to be 25, 30, 35, and your mind is right? Like you got the mind of a 60 or 70 or 80-year-old.
I tell her that all the time. She a little old lady. I tell her that all the time.
Oh, I love that. That she is, absolutely. Both of you. But yes, definitely. I agree. So yeah, that's what I see for y'all is a development, a rapid development that must occur. But again, you do it by having your elder sisters like this on these shows. You do it by creating retreats and conferences and inviting those speakers to come. And you also do it by taking and supporting Queen Afua's, queenafuaheals.com. I think that's her website, supporting her website, supporting mine, which is blackberrybeauty.com. So support us, and so that we can continue to support you. And anybody else there's other goddess queens out there that you all know. You're interviewing them. So just continue to support them, and we will do it together. We will do it together.
Yeah. Can you tell me about your the Blackberry Beauty Academy? Because I wanted to ask you, could you if you said it's a 12-month, it's for a whole year?
Okay, so yeah, thank you for asking questions because I never know. I know I got a lot of stuff I offer and it can get confusing. So I had this group. I say had. It was a group. It was based on, so after graduating from Queen Afua's Sacred Woman program twice, I decided that I wanted to do my own membership group, and it was called Wild Women Who Run with the Womb, and I did a whole year, so 12 months. So each month we focused on a different series. Like this month right now, we're in the series of learning something new. The month before, October, we were in the series of put your money where your mouth is. Let's say the month before that, we were in the series of So You Want to Be an Entrepreneur. So it was all virtual. We had a private Facebook group. People paid $37 a month to be in it. And I sent them videos worksheets, and every month we specify a particular series. And so I've been doing that. This is ending in my third year. And so that whole program that normally would be $444, I decided to package the whole program. So it's over 55 videos. I can't tell you so much content. And every month you go through a different series and you get to do the program at home. So that's a special. That's $99 and it's going to last to December 2nd, Friday. And so you can send it to you, it's links, you download it, and you can do the whole program. That's the healing part. That's the program that I created for me because I had all this knowledge and wisdom like you sisters, and I needed a place to put. I couldn't do exactly Queen of Four. I couldn't do exactly Susan Taylor. I couldn't do exactly those who I admire, Ayala Van Zandt. But it looked like Wild Women Who Rode the Wolf. That's what it looked like for me. And so I sell that for $99 for the next 5 days. And then, so that's one item or one product on the website. But I also do these things called intensives where I do a 3-hour virtual intensive secret group and we work on specific things. And for the month of November, it was creating healthy money rituals. But December is calling spiritual art of selling, sell or be sold. I'm big on us getting our finances together. And so I have a series of those. Those are normally $97, but for this month, they're just $67. For the December one, it's $67. And then other things, I have an audio book about being a raw foodist and how to do it. That's $7. I have lecture series about getting out in nature, sensuality, sexuality, adornment, raw foods, and other things. That's $11. So I can go anywhere from $7, and then I have $500 programs where you work with me for 6 weeks in a group. And I do those only 4 times a year. I do a winter, spring, summer, fall, 6-week sessions. So it's all about healing, and it's all about making your money, and it's all about loving your man and your life.
What else do you need?
What else do you need? Exactly. And being extremely happy, So that's what I got going on, ladies. And you can find all that at www.the, which is THE Blackberry, BERRY beauty.com, blackberrybeauty.com. And that's what it is.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful.
We're gonna go ahead and post it in the description box and on the flyer and on the SoundCloud description as well when we put it up. So all your links, if you could send them to me in a message, or send them to, you could even send them to the Ankh and she can put them all in the flyer for you.
Okay, I'll make sure I do that. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for coming on this show. I have one last question, and when you first came out, or when I first heard of you, your name you went by Nubia Sutton, and now you go by Lisa Marie Goodson. What's the science behind that?
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so glad people ask because I really want to tell people. So, when I came into YouTube and started talking about my raw food life and the whole bit, I was really coming out of a relationship, and I was a Rasta woman, definitely learned a lot, good times, but I wasn't there anymore. That wasn't my ideology. That wasn't, Nubia, I was a name that I took on when I was living that life and that part of my life. And Sutton actually is not my father's name. It's my mother's husband's name, the man that she was married to. So I never had a connection because it wasn't my kin's real name. And so for years, though, I stuck with the name. But I started feeling that metamorphosis that happens to me all the time. And the Spirit said, look, your mother, my mother passed, I think it's been 7 or 8 years now. And I always think about, her name is Marie, was Marie. And she named me Lisa Marie. That's the name she gave me. Period, straight, Lisa Marie. And I even thought about when I was younger how I didn't even put the Marie part in. I would just say, people say Lisa Marie. I was like, just call me Lisa. And how much that name has power. And I thought about Lisa and her strength and her courage and her confidence. And Lisa was really a bad sister. Like, I don't know why I let her go. Like, I realized she was the one. She the one got me to California. She the one got me to do things differently. So I wanted to honor my mother. But also, I like the vibration. Lisa Marie, if you add all the letters together, it's 9 letters. And mine definitely represents completion and closure. And I'm really about that closing and completing things. I think that sometimes as emotional people that we can be, because we should be, there's so much to get upset about, that I feel like sometimes we don't complete, we let that anger or that energy kind of take us off course. And I'm so about completion. Like now, going on 50, my thing is now I want to see things to completion now. I want to get that land and complete and own it straight out. We want to build that house and own it straight out. You know, I want to close deals straight out. You know, I want to close the deal. I want to complete. So Lisa Marie, it's an honoring of my old self. It's an honoring of my mother, Marie. And it's honoring the completion that I see happening continuously in my life. So I'm moving with that vibrational frequency. So I really feel closer. I went back and fetched what was lost and returned it back anew, because Goodson is my married name. My husband's last name is Goodson. So the Lisa Marie, the old, representing my mom, but also the new Goodson. So so it was some stuff, it was thought, but actually I'm breaking it down to you now. Spirit told me you need to go back to your name, but you need to put Marie up in it. It's Lisa Marie. That's how it happened. Right. I just gave you this is what I realized, the explanation, but how it happened was Spirit told me, and I said, I feel you. It was just so like, you didn't have to tell me twice. I was like, yeah, Lisa Marie, that's right. So that's how that happened.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's beautiful.
Thank you for coming, because I really enjoyed watching your transformation, like on YouTube. And you should have. I just wish you could have seen me with all these videos. And it's like as you would move, you would visit New York. You know, you had a video for everything. And it's like what you did for me. You did a lot for me today, because I got a feeling some changes are coming. But what you did for me then, and some of the other sisters, is you let me know that I was a goddess in my own right. Now, maybe I need to function like you a little bit more, but I didn't have to wait till someday to be something special. Mm-hmm. I was that right now as a Black woman. And that's something that you did for me. And I watched you go through all kind of changes. I remember one day something happened to you. Your daughter went away to college. All these changes of life. And I'm so grateful for the internet, because I would never have been able to see all that without YouTube. You know what I mean? So thank you for just being real, down to earth about your journey, all of it. Just thank you so much for that.
You're very welcome. That's so beautiful. When I hear you sisters say that, it keeps me so grounded to know that's people, really. Because they tell me, like, that's why people watch you, girl. They ain't watch you because you perfect. They watch you because you sitting there going, look, y'all, I ate that cooked food, y'all. Or, you know, girl, we broke up together. Me and that man broke up together. You know, so I appreciate that so much, getting it from you, and it even makes me appreciate that about me. Like, girl, just keep doing you. Just keep doing you and grow in process, and everybody will receive that. So thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate it so much.
All the spiritual people before, when I first got into it, everybody had to be so perfect. And I'm like, this ain't got nothing to do. I'm not perfect like them. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Like I couldn't feel it. But the person that's really doing it, but they have their ups and downs, it means everything.
Yes.
It's everything.
Ashe. I love y'all ladies so much. This has been so good for me. Thank you, Queens. This has been like, I love this kind of, we could have been, next time, y'all, when we do this, it's going to be in my house, my husband and I house in North Carolina. Oh, yeah. You're going to come in on land, and we can have some raw sweet tea. So we got to make everything different.